No, go on.
And it says a change of darkness is like it's a prison. If you lose your hands, both your hands and your legs, you're trapped in that body without hands and legs until death.
There you go.
The only way to separate yourself here from that physical body that you have without the hands and legs is death. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're reserved in that same body that you're in. Your spirit is in that body trapped. If you can't help yourself, no one can help you. That's you're fucked. That's like that.
You're screwed.
You know what I'm saying? You're trapped like that until death itself, man.
In fact, let me read this. This is 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 18. For it says, for Christ, right? But his name is Mashiach.
Yahushua.
Right. For Yahushua also have once suffered for sins.
Right. How did he once suffer from sins? Because he was in the flesh himself.
Right.
Go on.
The just for the unjust.
Right. The just and for the unjust.
That he might bring us to the Most High.
That he might bring us to the Most High. Why? Because of him going on the cross and dying for our sins. Because he knows that we're in the flesh. Okay. So we're in the flesh, like you said, brother. Flesh imaginative to do evil. So we're always going to be doing evil, even if we don't mean to do it. But because we're in the flesh, we're going to always do evil. Always going to go out. But we got to, maintain our ground and maintain on this right here. Go on, brother.
Being put to death in the flesh,
right?
But quickened by the Spirit.
But quickened by the Spirit. So he was put to death in the flesh and quickened by the Spirit. Oh, you're going.
But it's the point by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which is us. So when he was preaching, who was he preaching to? The Jews that were in the town. Because we're in these prison houses, these bodies. We're the spirits in prison. We're those angels in chains of darkness.
Right. The fallen angels.
That's us. It was parabolic. It wasn't literal.
It
wasn't literal. It wasn't talking about angels fell down. The angels don't go off. Okay. But the angels.
That's the story that you're telling.
That's what they say. That's what they say. They say that Lucifer was cast. That somehow he was jealous of God. He was jealous of God. That's how it went. He was jealous of God because God had all this power, and Lucifer was second in command. Like he knew he was all powerful, but the only thing he didn't know was how to breathe life into people. And something about he conspired with the angels. And he said, listen, man, you gotta come against God. And then the angel said, yeah. And then there was a war in heaven.
That's what they call the war in heaven.
The rebellious angels. Then Michael came with his big hammer and then smashed Lucifer out of heaven. And then he came like
that's the Hollywood production.
What's that? The other Zeus and Hades. Mythology.
We don't break all that bullshit down.
That's a Hollywood.
That's a Hollywood. It says by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. Okay, but now that's us. Okay, because he didn't go to a dungeon. And it was hey man. You didn't go to a prison cell and then there was spirits in the prison cell. That was they're talking about us. Okay. Now let me get Romans. Hold on.
One more precept, brother. He's got to get the Jew. He's going to have to get you.
Hold on, wait there.
And then I might as well have.
I don't know what you're getting, but I think I've got a precept as well.
This is so this is Romans chapter 8. Because it goes into his word, right? So it says verse
even 7
verse 18. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, prison house, chains of darkness, dwelleth no good thing.
That's a good point.
For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. Yeah, because you want to do what's good, but you don't have the willpower. You don't have the willpower to just do it, to perform it. Why? Because we're wicked, man. Okay? For the good that I would, I do not.
Right.
But the evil which I would not, that I do.
Right.
So the things that you know ain't right, you do it for some reason, even though you know it's not right. And it says, now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Because you don't want to do it, but it's the sin that's in you that makes you do it.
Right. That's it. And you know, too, and that further proves that Paul was one of the sons of God and one of the fallen angels.
He's one of the fallen spirits, because the angel is a spirit.
There you go.
He's spirits in darkness. It tells you that an angel is, let me get Hebrews chapter 1 verse 7. Because we got to back it up. We'll study to show that.
So what's the difference between these two Bibles?
Huh?
What's the difference?
No, it's the same Bible.
Same
Bible.
book.
It just looks different. That's all.
The one is on Latin news.
Yeah.
Get that.
1 and
1 verse 7.
it's Hebrews 1 and 7, and it says, and the angels, he says, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire.
See, the angels are spirits. See, spirits in chains of darkness. So it says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of the Most High after the inward man. So in the inward man, we glorify the Lord, man. You know, even though physically it's damn near impossible to keep the law perfect while we're in this flesh, because we're so damn wicked inside. I said, but I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death, from these chains of darkness, man? You will deliver me from these chains of darkness that I'm imprisoned in, that my spirit is encaged in. Okay, so it said, I thank the Most High through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach Adawanya, which means Yahweh Shai, Christ, or Lord. So then with the mind I myself serve the law of the Most High, but with the flesh, the law of sin. So it's that battle. You know what I'm saying? That we're in these chains. What's a chain? A chain holds you down, man. It holds you down from doing what? That which is right, righteous. Okay, chains of darkness. Darkness meaning ignorance without truth. You know what I'm trying to say? And
do we really say that we also, by being on that position, we are getting tested?
Right.
Right. Because see, in the beginning, man was immortal. We did everything that was right. It was only when the Most High, because you can basically say the Most High knows the end right from the beginning. He knew that Adam was going to go off, but it was a learning curve. So we need to learn the other side to win the kingdom.
Right, we're reading about him too. We're reading about him as well.
She's talking about the white Jesus. She was talking about the white Jesus.
Right,
talking
right.
about the blonde haired
Right,
we were talking
right.
about Yahweh.
Right. But you know though, brother, right? At the same time, in the spirit, she's right, but she don't know she's right. She's just talking about right? She's really talking about the men of the Lord, man. You know? So even if she was referring to the other white meat,
She's talking about the right one as well.
She's talking about the right one too. It was twofold. There you go.
But what was I saying? I was saying that this side of the spectrum, you gotta learn wickedness to fully appreciate righteousness.
No pain, no gain.
Right. So we had to go through this. The reason why we're going through the valley, the lowland of death, the valley of darkness, so we can see. This is why we're supposed to keep the good. That's right. This is why we're meant to keep. If we see a sodomite, you're meant to be put to death. This is why a woman is supposed to be immortal, because we're seeing them do this.
Yeah.
This is why we're walking around in Babylon feeling powerless to the things that we're seeing. It's making us think and meditate, be deep. Then we turn to the Most High, man. Repent and say, listen, it's only through divine intervention that everything is going to be made correct again. You know, not by no man's hand, because everything is out of our hands right now. We don't have no power to do anything about anything. We have to turn to the Lord. We tried everything. We tried the marching. We've tried the protesting.
It didn't work.
We've tried the public speaking. You know, marching. We've been marching for hundreds of years, man, and it hasn't prevailed. What we need to do is wait patiently, do what the scriptures say, because He is coming, man. Our Lord is coming. It's coming. Okay. Beautiful.
That's right.
I saw Jude. You had Jude as well, man.
Yeah, get Jude on with the first chapter. Because I mean, really, that's really the breakdown of the fallen angels, man. The fallen angels is talking about us, the men of God. Okay, that's in the flesh, in these fleshly bodies. But that's why Paul said himself, when you read the book of Corinthians, it speaks about how the Lord will. Matter of fact, brother, while he's getting Jude, get me 2 Corinthians 15. Because you see that, because you know when you read Genesis 6, and it speaks about how they were men of renown, and they were giants in the earth.
They were mighty.
They were mighty, but they had spiritual power. But guess what? We're going to get that back. Okay, because what I was saying earlier before you got here, I believe, everything's going to be reverted back to what it used to be in the beginning. Okay? So, yeah, get me Jude, the first chapter. Yeah, get me, I think it's 1 Corinthians 15. You know when Paul speaks about the difference between the spirit.
15 and 39.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, all flesh is not the same flesh. Because Paul makes a distinction. Yeah.
Do you want me to go first or him?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
This is Jude 1.
Wait. Let this demon pass back. Somebody done hurt themselves or something, man. That's judgment.
You point at him like a real demon, man. Let this demon pass by.
That's right.
This is Jude 1 and 5, and it says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this.
Why does it say I will once put you in remembrance that you once knew this? Because the men of God, or the men that succumbed to the Most High back then, they already had this knowledge. They was given. So that further proves right there that you gotta be a part of the elect. You gotta be a part of the sons of God to receive this message. Okay, go on.
How that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not.
Right.
Verse 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate,
as we just read. Right. Go on.
but left their own habitation, he have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness.
Under darkness, which is these bodies. These bodies are of darkness because it brings forth sin, which leads to death and darkness. Go on.
Unto the judgment of the great day.
Unto the judgment of the great day. So we're going to be stuck in these bodies until the day of the Lord comes. We're going to be in these bodies.
One thing, yeah.
You're going.
Is committing suicide a sin then? Yeah.
Now there's no sin on that. There's no law on that. But the thing about it is that because the scriptures do say it is better to die than to live a better life. It does say that. But there's no sin of committing suicide. Yeah. You know. But I mean, if you're in a situation where, you know, you want to make that move, then hey, man, I guess you're going to have to make that move. But if you're not in that situation, you don't have to make that move. You know what I mean? There's no need to be doing it. You know what I mean? As a true man, you know, you have to endure whatever it is that you have to endure and come out of it. That's all it is. Because that's sweet, man.
There is a scripture, bro, about suicide in the Apocrypha. I'm going to look for it, yeah?
Okay. All right, man.
Better to die than to live
a better life.
Yeah, a better life.
That's
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be judgment because you can throw yourself out the building, man, break all your legs and ribs and still live, man.
Yeah. Because the Lord takes you out. The Lord takes you when He's ready to take you.
That's it.
Yeah. So
I was scratching my head. Yeah, because you were talking about you was reading about the reserve us until the judgment of that great day. Because I was gonna read because Job, yeah.
You know, though, brother, I want him to read that. I want him to read that again because I missed out on something.
What? Start from the beginning?
Yeah, start from the first verse again.
Okay, it's at Jude 1 and 5, and it says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. And the angels which kept not their first estate.
The angels which kept not their first estate, which the first estate was reading about how renowned we were, how mighty we were, how spiritual, what sort of spiritual power we had, and how great we were in Genesis 6. So that was the first estate. Go on.
But left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness.
Which is these bodies, these bodies of sin. Go on.
Unto the judgment of the great day. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Right. That's it on that. All right, go on. Because you know it's just
From read it again. The whole thing again. Okay. As Jude 1 and 5. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. and the angels which kept not their first estate.
The angels that kept not their first estate, because we were in a spirit war.
I went into that. We've already went into that. You know, we've already went into that. But you're going. I tell you what, drop that. Give me Corinthians 15, because I already went into that already. You know, but the point of the matter is that you know you understand about the fallen angels now. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna further expound on that. Yeah, read that.
1 Corinthians 15 verse 39.
Yeah.
All flesh is not the same flesh,
Yeah.
but there is one kind of flesh of men,
Okay.
another flesh of beasts,
Yeah.
another of fishes, and another of birds.
Right, because you got certain people out there, they believe that okay, if you die, you're gonna come back as an ant, or you're gonna come back as a caterpillar.
pagan religion.
That Hinduism bullshit, you know. But the thing about it is that if you were, hey, the scriptures tells you. So I think it's in the Apocrypha. It says, which is the part of the Bible. It says that the Lord have turned man to the dust of the earth and made him a man again. Roughly paraphrasing. So if you was a man, you're gonna come back as another man. Okay, that because your spirit is formed to be a man, not to be formed into an ant or an antelope. You know?
No woman.
No. If you're a man, you're gonna be another man. You know, if you're a woman, you're gonna come back as another woman. That's the order. Yes, go on.
It says, and it says, there are also celestial bodies
Yeah, also celestial bodies
and bodies terrestrial.
and bodies terrestrial, which the word terrestrial means the ground. As we was going into, the word Adam means the ground, right? So the celestial bodies is what we used to have. Okay, go on.
Right. But the glory of the celestial
What's this
is
problem?
one.
Yeah, but
Come on, that's for me, man. What are you saying over there?
no. This is we're just reading the Bible. We're just reading the Bible. Yeah, this is the Bible. You say
To
what?
do with the Bible.
Alright, man. You're going.
Like we need a stamp of approval from him, man. Like an Edomite, bro.
Yeah, I mean, who is he? Man?
Let's say it wasn't the Bible, then what? If it wasn't the Bible, then
It's
what?
probably part of the authorities, isn't it? They got power, they could send someone, these people are.
Oh, okay then. Okay. You're approved.
Right.
He's profane, man.
But you know what though, he's nothing, man. We're gonna get back into this. He's a nobody, man. He's going down, and that's why he needs a like dog, like we out, man.
He's red all over. The hairy as well. It says, there are also celestial bodies
Right.
and bodies terrestrial. But the glory of the celestial is one,
Okay.
and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
And the glory of the terrestrial is another. Like for example, the angels don't have sex. Okay, they don't do what we do. They don't have to eat. They don't have to sleep. They don't have to do all of the things that we do in the flesh. Okay, the angels, they're nothing but consuming energy. Okay, they're energy that forth and back. Okay, and they do what they want to do when they want to. You know, by the command of the Lord.
It says, there is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon,
Right.
and another glory of the stars.
Okay.
But one star differeth from another star
Yeah.
in glory.
Yeah.
So also is the resurrection of the dead.
Also, the resurrection of the dead, and that's what Yahweh Shai was preaching all of this time. Because what we're preaching is the resurrection, the doctrine. That's ultimately what we're really preaching. I mean, we call it the truth, but really what we're preaching is the resurrection doctrine, which that's what Paul and them was teaching. James and all the 12 apostles. They were about the resurrection of Israel. Okay, but mainly was the resurrection of the elect, because when the elect is set up, then the whole nation is going to flourish in righteousness again. Okay,
So also is the resurrection of the dead.
right.
It is sown in corruption.
Because we are dead right now. We're in a dead state. Why are we on a dead state? Because we're in these bodies. Okay. Go on.
It is raised in
It
incorruption.
is raised incorruptible. So now that Now the only way you're gonna be raised up incorruptible is by receiving the incorruptible word.
Right.
Okay, the word of immortality. Give me Sirach, the first chapter, the 5th verse. I'm gonna show you something. Oh, there it is right there.
You said one thing, I just want to guide you something you said.
Yeah, you go.
That's very useful.
Yeah.
You said we are dead. You know, in the court of law, they refer us as dead people. They don't refer us as like, this is why they have to write our name in capital letter and refer us as a fiction.
Right.
And this guy is called the real Morpheus. Research him.
Yeah, I did a little research on it.
Yeah.
And you know too, and he's right about that because we're dead also because we're in captivity.
Yeah, exactly.
That also signifies we're dead as well.
So the court of law knows that we are that and they relate to us on that order.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, give me Sirach 1 and 5.
1 and 5.
Yeah.
Sirach 1 and 5, the word of the word of God Most High is the foundation of wisdom, and our ways are everlasting commandment.
Okay.
To whom hath the root of wisdom been revealed, or who hath known how wise counsel?
Let me see something. I think it's very Wisdom of Solomon, you know, Wisdom of Solomon. Let me see something.
What does it say?
Now it says something about righteousness is immortality. Righteousness is immortality. Let me see something. Try 15. Try 15. What does 15 say?
As 15, she hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. Let me check Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, try 1 and 5.
What is the scripture you're looking for, say?
No, it speaks about immortality.
Can I read this?
Yeah, go on.
Isaiah 40 verse 6. The voice said, cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever.
That's good. That's a good one.
Right, so if you have something in you that's forever, how can you die? Something, the word that's in you is forever. That means you will live forever. It's everlasting life. This word, you know. So that's why we are this body. Physically, we've received something that spiritually is forever.
There it is right there. It's Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15.
Spiritually.
You wouldn't have known that because I read it, you know,
our
some other
bodies,
time ago.
these bodies are gonna die. These bodies can die. But these bodies need to be changed. You know, to match that word.
Container in short.
So read what I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you something.
As a Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15, for righteousness is immortal.
Right. So it says that's it. For righteousness is immortal. So if we induce ourselves in righteousness, which is His word, we're then going to become immortal. And this is why Paul said this. Go on.
So it said, read the 9. Verse 42. So also is the resurrection of the dead.
Right.
It is sown in corruption.
Okay.
It is raised in incorruption.
It's raised incorruptible. Because these different pastors and these different clergymen, they don't understand what it's talking about. They don't understand. They just read it and they break it down in their own carnal perspective because they're not spiritual. But we can break it down the right way. Go on, brother.
It is sown in dishonor.
Right, it is sown in dishonor. Go on.
It is raised in glory.
Now it is raised in glory. Because we're going to have those glorifying bodies. Okay? But first and foremost, we got to introduce ourselves into the righteousness, which is immortal. Go on.
It is sown in weakness.
Okay, which we are weak right now.
It is raised in power.
Now it's raised in power. I like how you read that.
It said, it is sown in weakness, it is raised in power.
And it is raised in power. So we're going to receive spiritual power, just like how our forefathers back in Genesis had the spiritual power. That's why they were renowned and they were known as the angels, the giants. Right. I stand correct. Go on.
It is sown in a natural body.
Yep.
It is raised a spiritual body.
Yep.
There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body.
Right, there's a spiritual body. So we're going to inhabit those spiritual bodies. Right now we're in the chains of darkness, okay, which leads us to sin, which Paul was explaining what he was going to do with these bodies, like what we're going to do, okay. Now we're going to receive the spiritual bodies, okay, and with those bodies we're going to have all the ability to do what we want to do, okay. If we want to manipulate the elements to create something that we want, we need to do that. Go on.
And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Okay.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
Right. Go on.
Howbeit, that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural.
That which is natural. Go on.
And afterward, that which is spiritual.
And afterward, that which is spiritual. So Paul is showing you where we're going to go after in terms of the state that we're in. Okay. After we get done with this estate, we're going to be led into another estate, which is back to what we used to be all over spiritual. And that's what Paul was talking about, whether he realized it or not. Go on.
The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven.
And the second man is the Lord from heaven. You see? So read that verse again. Read that again.
The first man is of the earth, earthy.
Yeah.
The second man is the Lord from heaven.
Right. The second is the Lord from heaven, because the supreme power dwells in the outer atmosphere, in the other dimension.
Right.
So he's in the spiritual realm. He's on a higher level. Okay. Because when you're in the spiritual realm, or if your body is set up to dwell in the spiritual realm, then you're a lot more powerful than you coming down in this lower dimension right here. Because there's a dimension within a dimension. Okay, there's even spirits floating around that you don't see.
Exactly.
You see?
They don't sleep. They don't get hungry.
Yep.
They don't walk in your time.
Right.
They're sources, man. They're energies.
No, like you said that as well.
Oh, can
you
I?
mentioned it as well, like some of the things that come out, thoughts that come out to your mind, they're not really used. It's dark demons. In your purpose, let's say you go in a righteous path, you cannot think of that. But they make it like you the one who's coming with the idea. And this is where depression, all these evil things come in there.
Brother, can I just get this thing before you go further?
Yeah, get that.
Seriously, remember we talked about the suicide, yeah? Right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, yeah? Chapter 1 and 12. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your hands. That means you mustn't commit suicide at all, yeah?
Hey, man. I must have read that, but I didn't.
That will sleep anybody, brother.
I didn't know that was in it, man.
Yeah, bro.
But I must have read it.
There's incidents where man can kill himself.
It's
dishonor himself.
Is that sin?
Yeah.
There's incidents when a man has dishonored himself.
Thank you.
And then he killed himself.
It's only one person must kill you. It's the Most High. He gives a life and he takes a life. You don't take it upon yourself when you're gambling and you say, oh, I can't pay this 3.5 million pounds. Let me jump off the cliff. No, it doesn't work that way. No, Most High must do it.
That's a good one, brother. That's a good one.
Yeah, because Job said something about an appointed time.
Right, appointed time.
Because we're all being appointed a certain time by the Most High. So that's not up for us to say, I ain't want to live that long, I'll kill myself right now.
You see so many evil things around you, yeah?
Yes.
You kind of lose hope because you think I'm a good person, I don't want to live around here. But God brought you here too. Yeah, it's a test. That's why I keep saying that.
Endure.
If you see what these brothers are going through every day, plus other guys in other camps, they're going through torture just because you see these guys talking and smiling. In their heart, there's a scripture saying something about I'll get it, but I can't remember how it goes, paraphrasing, that your heart is sorrowful, although you